Hello everyone, welcome to the Scumdogs Kennel. I'm your host, Chris Williams, and in today's Cryptid Corner mini-episode, I have more paranormal and cryptid stories to tell you all about. In this one, I have 2 pterodactyls seen over Spain, and another, this Dogman seen in Pennsylvania. Let's get into the first article. 2 enormous, membranous winged creatures observed over A7 motorway near Reus, Spain. Let's now get into this article by reading the opening and hear exactly what was seen flying over Spain that day. On a clear afternoon in April 2014, a routine family drive through northeastern Spain turned into a deadly, unsettling encounter. What appeared at first glance to be 2 birds quickly revealed itself as something far outside known zoology. The brief duration of the sighting only intensified the mystery, leaving behind troubling questions about scale, biology, and origin. Let's get into the actual account now. On a sunny afternoon in April 2014, a family was traveling to the town of Reus, Spain, on the A7 motorway. As they reached intersection of Constantini Porto Tarragona, just before the Les Gavrias commercial park, the wife suddenly drew the husband's attention to a pair of giant birds gliding on the horizon. "Look at those 2 beautiful birds," she exclaimed. He noticed that both were enormous, with one being considerably larger than the other. The family watched in astonishment as the 2 giant birds flew overhead. They observed that the birds had large membranous wings and thick plumage around their necks that curved like the letter S. Their bodies were substantial, notably robust compared to their wings, which lacked feathers and extended several meters. Unfortunately, the traffic was heavy and the road was under repair, preventing them from stopping to observe the creatures more closely. They were able to view the giant birds for about 2 minutes. Here are some pictures the family, I think, did of these pterodactyl or Thunderbird-like cryptids, folks. Both of them, well, not the best drawings, do give you an idea of what these people saw. And they do look like pterodactyls, especially with the elongated head, at least basically in this picture, folks. They sound like pterodactyls to me, but then again, they also said that they had feathers. So, make of that what you will, folks. But let's continue with this family's story. The creatures were flying from west to east, soaring directly in front of the witnesses, who found the sight spectacular. Their amazement grew as they saw the larger of the 2 birds fly past the Torre Forta building, a structure wider than the building itself, which raised concerns for the husband, wife, and their older daughter, who also witnessed the sighting. The younger children were distracted by games and did not see the creatures. They hurriedly drove forward to find a place to stop, but once they did, the 2 birds had vanished. Later, the father and daughter returned to the area and confirmed that the top of the Torre Forta building was more than 10 meters wide, and the larger bird surpassed that width by several meters. So this entity sounds truly gigantic, folks. That sounds terrifying. But let's move on to the commentary and notes now. This account exhibits several recurring patterns seen in large winged humanoid and unknown aerial creature reports across Europe and North America. The description of membranous wings lacking feathers is particularly significant and directly contradicts known avian species. The S-shaped neck curvature and heavy torso further remove these creatures from conventional bird classification. Emotionally, the witnesses transition from awe to concern once scale comparison becomes possible, especially when the larger creature exceeds the width of a known building. This shift is standard in credible sightings, where initial beauty gives way to cognitive dissonance. Comparable cases include significant winged creature sightings in Spain and southern France, as well as reports from the Chicago Lake Michigan corridor, where witnesses describe bat-like wings, oversized bodies, and silent gliding flight. Theories range from surviving prehistoric life forms to interdimensional or ultra-terrestrial entities capable of transient physical manifestation. The paired nature of the sighting may suggest migratory behavior or cooperative movement rather than a solitary anomaly. Indeed, folks, what were these creatures? Were they just flying through the area because they were migrating, or were they there as something else, maybe observing the area because they were maybe some sort of, I guess, maybe drones? I'm thinking here, folks, maybe these were robotic drones, but made of living flesh, perhaps, maybe some sort of bioandroids. But then again, that doesn't make much sense. I'm just giving you an idea of what these entities could be, folks, in a more weird, way. They could have been hallucinations, folks, but the whole family saw them, so I doubt that's what it was. Let's move on to the next article now, and then we can discuss this encounter with these pterodactyl-like entities afterwards. Either way, let's get into the bipedal cryptid canine encounter near Mount Penn and Nerversink Mountain, Berks County, Pennsylvania, and hear how, once again, this witness saw something he couldn't explain. He saw this Dogman, and apparently this area is rife with such, or similar accounts, so let's hear how it's affected everyone in it now. In 2009, a late evening drive through the mountainous terrain of Berks County, Pennsylvania, turned into a terrifying encounter that still defies conventional explanation. What initially appeared to be a large roadside animal revealed itself as something far more disturbing, an upright canine entity displaying intelligence and aggression. Reports from this region have quietly accumulated for decades, raising the question of whether this encounter was an isolated anomaly or part of a deeper pattern tied to these mountains. Either way, very interesting, folks. Let's continue. On Saturday, June 9th, 2018, I received an inquiry from a witness in Berks County, Pennsylvania. Since my investigation colleague, Butch Witowski, lives in the general area, I forwarded the email to him. The following is Butch's report. Let's read Butch's report now, folks, and read through the Berks County bipedal sighting. In 2009, in the area of Mount Penn and Nerversink Mountain, Berks County, Pennsylvania, a witness returning home from work witnessed what he thought was a large dog squatting along the side of the road. He approached with caution, fearing the dog might run onto the roadway, and he didn't want to hit it. As he approached, he noticed the lower legs were huge and not those of a dog. The animal stood up, and it was not a dog, but a large bipedal canine, approximately 7 to 8 feet tall and standing on 2 legs. He described a large wolf head with large ears and a massive body build. It had long arms with hands and claws and was aware of him as he approached in his vehicle. As he accelerated to go around the animal, it reached for the car door. He said it was a light brown in color and was aggressive. Mapping and exact locations are currently under examination. Updates will be coming. Well, that's good, folks. I kind of want to hear more about this story as well. And not just this initial account that we just read through, because maybe this is the start of something in Pennsylvania, folks. But then again, as I said, I like to spitball ideas, as I've said so many times before. But let's continue with this article now and read more of what this guy saw. Investigators note, having grown up in that area and spending a great deal of time on those mountains, I can attest to the many strange stories of animal sightings and more coming from the Nerversink and Mount Penn areas, like large wild dogs, bears, ghostly specters, and near misses on the tracks from the old gravity railroad. But as a youngster, we all waved off the stories as a parent trick to keep us off the mountains and out of trouble. Time to give those old stories a second look, Butch. Indeed, folks, maybe those stories are detailing things that are not normal and should be investigated more thoroughly, folks, on Mount Penn and Nerversink Mountain. But, folks, let's read the commentary notes before we come to any conclusions about this event and others. This report displays several recurring patterns seen in upright canine encounters across Pennsylvania and neighboring states. The transition from quadrupedal posture to full bipedal stance, combined with long arms ending in claw hands, aligns closely with established Dogman and upright canine case files. The aggressive behavior, particularly the reaching motion toward a moving vehicle, suggests territorial or predatory awareness rather than simple curiosity. Emotionally, the witness's responses reflect sudden shock followed by immediate threat perception, a consistent reaction in close proximity encounters. The Mount Penn and Nerversink mountain corridor has a long history of anomalous wildlife reports, folkloric warnings, and modern cryptid sightings, indicating a persistent hotspot rather than a single incident. From an investigative standpoint, this case remains consistent with either a cryptid upright canine or an ultra-terrestrial manifestation utilizing a biologically familiar form to observers. It does indeed sound like that, folks. It sounds like so many encounters with basically, with the same kind of, points of interest in them, folks, that we've seen before, that maybe this was an ultra-terrestrial manifestation using the idea of werewolves or dogmen to fully more manifest into reality, and using the witness as a way, maybe as a further foothold, basically using his fear and maybe anxiety over what he saw to basically, I guess, manifest more fully and completely into a dog-like form? Or was this something else entirely? And what about basically with the pterodactyls, folks? Are they somewhat similar as well? Somehow manifestations? Maybe. Either way, folks, we're now at the end. So please go subscribe to my YouTube channel. Read comics that are bad for you. You can use the YouTube link down below in the descriptions or the chat to go subscribe to me. Now, please hit that like button for me. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave some comments down below. Hit that bell for notifications. Make sure you hit the part of the bell that'll give you all future notifications. And please share this video out. I'm Chris Williams from the Scumdogs Kennel. Thank you all for joining me. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great video. So be sure to come back again then. Till next time, folks. I'll see you all again soon.